I've worked in law, politics, investment banking, and ran my own businesses. And I've advised the US, South Korean, and Chinese governments. How does the world see China? How does China see the world? I'm Einar Tangen. Find out on Tangen on China, a special series during the 2 sessions. Under modern Judeo-Christian thought, human rights have developed based on the preeminence of self-determination, the pursuit of happiness and freedom, which puts the rights of the individuals slightly above responsibilities to society. In Asia, due to Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism, and in some cases differing levels of economics, human rights have more to do with the balance of rights of individuals and their responsibilities to the collective, be it family, friends, or country. In the Judeo-Christian democratic free market model, human rights require a ballot box, freedom of expression. In most of Asia, human rights are about safety, access to social services, economic opportunity, and responsibilities to the family, especially the young, the elderly, and society as a whole. In Asia, free markets are desired, but not seen as a panacea. The 2008 financial crisis, the lack of accountability, the inability of developed countries to handle COVID-19, the use of wars and economic sanctions to secure economic benefits have soured many in Asia, including those who once believed that Western values and systems had much to offer. Today, there are those who want to use the Western definition of human rights to contain and eventually change Asia, and in particular, China. So let's compare outcomes. The majority of wars started in the last 40 years have involved Western countries, either directly or through proxies, on a political and economic level. Western democracy and free markets have failed to deliver human rights, or competent, fair leadership, or markets. The ballot box has elected leaders who promised but didn't deliver, who talk about unity while they divide. China has 40 years of sustained economic development, which has created the second largest economy in the world from virtually nothing, while moving 700 million of its people out of poverty. China's definition of human rights means it shows the greatest respect to life, as being demonstrated in its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The government was expected to, and did, take swift, effective action, resulting in saving of tens of thousands of lives, and the fastest return to the new normal of any large nation in the world. Human rights also means development rights for the people. Poverty is expected to be the responsibility of society. Safety on the streets, at home, school, and places of work are taken for granted. Access to medical services, education, housing, and jobs are all considered part of basic human rights. And language barriers are overcome through education, allowing people to move and seek opportunities. This is not to suggest China doesn't have problems. It is far from a panacea, but steadily, year by year, it has been able to advance its economy and society in a way that has resulted in the highest government approval rating of any large country in the world. These experiences have taught China its strength and future is in its national identity. Places like Hong Kong and Xinjiang have been lightning rods for dubious Western human rights criticisms, which have more to do with politics than genuine concerns. The reality is, China is simply doing what is necessary to give all of its areas a sense of the national identity they share, which means learning the country's history, language, culture, and by doing so, the means to new opportunities. Few people realize that both of these areas had, in essence, been cut off from seeking opportunities offered throughout China because of language and education barriers. Ironically, if China did nothing, it would have been accused by the same Western-oriented critics of creating a two-tiered apartheid society. As the cacophony of criticism against China rises under the standard of human rights, I would ask you to reflect on how different cultures have different ideas about the roles and responsibilities of individuals and societies. To compare the results, it may be impossible to convince the faithful, but for those who look at the reality, it is clear that different systems and values are the rule, not the exception, as they chart their own country's path to prosperity.